Hey everyone, this is my review for Batwoman Season 3 Episode 9 titled Meet Your Maker. The description for the episode says, Ryan, Sophie, and Luke attempt to track down the original Poison Ivy when all signs point to Pamela Isley's return in Gotham. Mary feels drawn by a powerful force, and Alice suddenly feels very protective over her stepsister. Last episode I was complaining about Ivy's entrance because she deserves way better than just walking out of a bush, but now we got a proper entrance. First of all, it's Bridget Regan. She drowned two fishermen while emerging from the water with great camera angles, and then collapsed in Montoya's arms because the water couldn't revive her. Mary was the only one who could because the vines created her as some sort of charger in case Ivy ever came back. So my fears were kind of right. When Ivy had a cute scene, surprisingly they were getting along, but I'm sorry, they looked ridiculous just sitting there calling out to Mary. I was expecting sound waves to come out of Ivy's head. Also, wasn't that the same beach Lee and you and Coriana were on? The Bat team tracked Ivy to National Park while looking for Mary. I love the little Wildmoore drama, especially Luke's reactions in the car, but imagine being that white fisherman. First Ivy tries to kill him, then Sophie almost runs him over, then the forest comes alive and Ivy's roots take the car and kill him. What a day. I love how they keep reversing that trope though. As if this wasn't already a horror film, the Bat team were stuck hiding in a cabin in the woods. Luke was trying so hard to block the door. They explained it as him feeling like a failure because he couldn't save Mary and he's not a hero, but it felt like a panic attack and I feel it's his PTSD playing a role. After all, that all started when he tried to play hero and Tabaroff shot him. Then he did it again and Marcus beat the shit out of him, and then Marcus held him hostage and almost shot him too while Luke just stood there. If Ryan hadn't thrown the serum, he would have been in the same situation again. Sophie finally had enough and asked Ryan why she hates her, but they're arguing let Ivy to them because she can sense vibrations in the pores, so the roots attack Sophie. Even though Montoya tried to tell her that Ryan's not like Batman, Ivy was decided on killing Batwoman and even used her powers to keep Montoya out of her way. I really want to like her, but they keep making it so hard when she does stuff like this. Mary and Alice were gonna leave Gotham till Mary started getting headaches, leading her to Ivy. I totally get why Alice was so worried because she's right, those headaches were similar to the ones Alice and the other Beth had, and one of them had to die in the end. Like Mary said, Alice didn't want to lose her because despite their history, they finally found the sister they always wanted in each other, what Kate Kane could never be. But Mary had to ruin the moment by using her powers on Alice just like Ivy did. Why do they keep doing this to me? Mary didn't get far though because Montoya shot her so she wouldn't fight Ivy, which was confusing at the time. A hunter and his kid found Mary. She attacked the dad, but I mean he did point a gun at her. Then the stupid kid showed up at the cabin, ignored Ryan and yelled for help, so the roots attacked him and Ryan had to ask Sophie to blow up the car to destroy them. Luke ran out to save the kid from the fire and he's like, oh, you saved me. Well, no one would have had to save you if you weren't such an idiot. Luke was all like, oh, we'll find your dad, don't worry. But even before Alice confirmed that, I knew that man was dead. It's what they deserve. Finally, the moment we've waited ages for, as Sophie checked on Ryan and got her to break down and admit how she felt, we finally got the Wildmoore kiss. It's about time and it was filmed so well. Then that music started right after and Javicia's smile, just so good. It's getting overlooked because of the kiss, but Javicia's performance right before that, wow, that was amazing. Finally addressing Ryan's own mental health after all she's been through this season, and she's just expected to stay strong, keeping it all bottled up to help her friends and family with their own issues. But when is somebody gonna help her? Turns out Montoya made an antidote to Ivy's powers because she knew she tried to control her. Truth is, Montoya never meant to bring Ivy back. She just got caught up in the moment, but now she saw this was a toxic relationship and basically broke up with her. Once again, Rose and Louisa vibes with this rocky, codependent relationship. But when Ivy was like, what single thought do you think kept me alive for all those years? You. Oh my god, Bridget's acting was so good. But now she's got Mary to keep her alive. Literally, she transferred her energy to her. Meanwhile, we had the return of John Diggle. Before working for the Queens, he worked for the Jets, and now Jada wanted to rehire him to protect her and Ryan from Marcus. He declined but suggested using the Joy Buster to fix Marcus. Now I love this episode, but what was that stupid idea? Somehow Jada went along with it and they found the Joy Buster in Renee's office, but the real reason Diggle was there is apparently the Green Lantern rings box won't open again and he wanted Luke's help, but that didn't work. Overall, I absolutely loved this episode. It was definitely one of their best, only second to A Lesson from Professor Pig. For a second I was like, maybe I gotta start giving Caroline Dries more credit because she wrote this one, the premiere, and Lesson from the Pig. I did praise her for the premiere, but the other two were co-written by the wonderful Ebony Gilbert and Maya Houston. I absolutely love those two. They wrote my favorite episodes last season, First Skin Blue Eyes, Rule Number 1, and Justice for All. You just know it's gonna be good when Batwoman does horror. First we got the slasher episode, now more Cabin in the Woods or A Quiet Place with the Ivy sensing vibrations thing. The horror makes up for the lack of action, like the forest coming alive and roots attacking them. It's not the best CGI, but hey, they're trying something bigger. The deaths were also pretty gruesome for CW. Ivy with the gray-white skin looked like the perfect horror movie villain. I just wish he got to keep it because I love that new Batman Adventures look, but they're making it so hard to support her and Mary. I'm just glad they gave a better explanation for Ivy's turn rather than the whole right cause, wrong execution BS that they did with Black Mask. Being fearful of Batman, which leads to hating Batwoman, and her anger from Montoya's betrayal is a way better reason for Ivy to go full villain. In the flashbacks, you can tell Ivy restrained herself due to her love for Montoya, but look where that got her. Of course she would break and go full eco-terrorist now. Like I said, as out of nowhere as it was, that relationship with Montoya was such a good idea. They're kinda giving us both the Harley Ivy relationship dynamic with Ren Ivy, and then the Harley Ivy friendship with Mary and Alice. Oh yeah, and Mary finally wore the poster suit. Kinda weird coincidence that David Ramsey was involved in the 2 best episodes. I honestly couldn't care less about Diggle appearing. I didn't like him in the later seasons of Arrow. He's a pretty boring character, but pairing him with Jada worked out great. Surprisingly, they had great chemistry and some history between them. I felt like they were teasing Diggle could be Ryan's dad, which I would have never considered, but I really don't want that. Right now, Lucius Fox is the best option between him, Bruce Wayne, and Diggle. Diggle even mentioned that he's with Lila, but I don't see how they've got a stable relationship after all that chemistry with Jada and even Dinah and Arrow. But what I really didn't care for was the whole Green Lantern story. It's the final consequence of giving Mark Guggenshit so much power. It's dragged him for way too long, and for what if they want to do that stupid Justice EU show instead? I have zero interest in that. I don't see how anyone will want to watch that shit. CW has really been coming up with the worst spin-off ideas recently. At this point, the Arrowverse is basically turning into fanfiction. I'd say it's all Felicity and Mia Smoke's fault, but you could argue Ryan was the start of that. Maybe it's cause they replaced the worst main character of all time, but the thing is, Ryan Wilder and Marcus Jett actually worked and are amazing characters, unlike all of their other OCs. Really, my only problem with the episode was that stupid kid and his dad. Good for Luke getting his hero moment, but maybe Alice had the right idea leaving that annoying girl to die in episode 2? Seriously, how is it that the only good child actors on the show were Alice, Kate, and Ryan? And well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for similar content. Leave your thoughts on the video or episode in the comments below. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Goodbye.